Hey there, I'm Maddie and this is Great Quest for Knowledge. Today I want to talk about travel altars, but in this specific video I'm not going to be going over any of my personal beliefs, but I do hope this video is useful to somebody out there. So let's get right into it. Travel altars are so unique to the individual that I just want to briefly go over the different styles and some of their uses. I've seen medium-sized wooden boxes like travel chests that are really great for any of your working materials, like for a working altar. So there's a lot of space to house your tools and herbs. There's definitely a lot of room if you have a lot of things like this. And of course, if you know you're going to be using it while you're traveling, this is a great option. I've also seen slightly smaller wooden jewelry boxes or cigar boxes that have been converted to altars. These are really great to house deity statues and incense, candles, things that you would make out of offerings. These are really great choices as well. Because they're a little bit more compact, they might be a little bit easier to stow away in your luggage. I did want to make sure that I said you don't have to get fancy with it if you don't want to. Sometimes when you make something yourself, especially something as dedicated as this, you might have a better connection to it if you make it yourself than if you just bought it from a store. It is definitely okay to use what you already have. Now, of the box types I listed, I don't want something taking up my valuable packing space, especially if I'm traveling really far and it's already a struggle for me to get everything in there. And something I look for in a travel altar is also something that's a little bit more discreet as well. And so today, we are making a pocket altar. Pocket-sized altar?
I mean, seriously, whose pockets are these supposed to fit in? Not girl pockets, apparently. To start off your pocket altar, you are going to need a Altoid container. This can be really any container you want, but for my purposes and for it to stay pretty discreet, this works for me. A tea light. I like to use white candles and white tea lights because they can be used for any working. They don't already have color correspondence. And matchbook incense. So having them in a match form lets you set your intention immediately before you start any big working or offering. And it makes sure that you don't have to sacrifice having incense or not. This one's one of my favorites. This is a frankincense. Definitely really good for working with any spirits, deities, or ancestors. And for my own purposes, I'm going to also be using something to line the tin. I could very well use fabric or paper. Instead, I'm using foam sheets. This is going to provide some sort of cushion, especially because I know that I'm going to have small glass containers, and I don't want them breaking if they rattle around inside the tin. So that added cushion is going to help. This glass container here has the evil eye on it. It's going to be for protection against negativity, and I know I'm going to put salt in it anyway because it has a cork. And I really don't trust this cork to hold any water or any other liquids. So this is going to be for salt. My amethyst container here is going to be holding my moon water. And I do trust this to hold water because it actually has threading on the container. It doesn't look like it's going to leak out, and it's hollowed out really nicely that it should hold it very well. And again, these can be any sort of containers that suit your purpose, or maybe you don't need containers. Maybe you don't need it to hold anything, and that's okay too. I'm also adding tangerine quartz, which is really great for self-love and promoting some healing energy as well. And this is a stone I know I really like working with. But for my purposes, I'm going to line the tin, as I mentioned, with foam. I've picked out this beautiful blue sheet that has a little bit of a shimmer to it. If you were using any other material, I think glue would be fine. But for this foam, it actually already has a sticky backing, which is going to make it easy to stick, hard to put into place. And of course I lost that part of the video anyway. But you didn't want to see me struggle with it sticking to me for 40 minutes, did you? Now I'm just putting salts in my container. It's going to help purify anything in a pinch, and I really like this pink Himalayan salt, so that's what I'm using. I already know I'm putting in the quartz, so I'm just going to drop that in as well. And we're going to be doing the amethyst one as well soon. So I'm just going to put some things away. Everyone does moon water a little bit differently, but since I know that's what I'm putting in here, I'm going to grab my moon water container. And I only make moon water when it is a new moon, because it has some psychic energies to it, a little bit more intuition based. I also only make it when it is a new moon in Cancer, when the sun and moon are both in Cancer. So that's about a 3-day window, once a year. So it's a pretty big deal to me personally. I'd be happy to do a post on this or a video if anyone's interested, but I'm just going to fill this right up. These tiny pieces and little droppers are quite difficult to fill. Well, I'm trying to get the right angle for the camera, so I did end up doing this one off screen. But here we are, all set to go. And last minute I did find a very, very small essential oil container that would definitely fit in here. So it actually already has a stopper and a dropper underneath. So it's going to work just like any normal sized essential oil container. I really like using oils in my workings. I'm a very scent oriented person. This is the Egyptian Gold. It is a frankincense and myrrh by Young Living. It's one of my favorite brands as well. And I really like this one, again, for any calling on ancestors, deities, or any general spirit worship. So with this oil, it is very hot. You definitely want to carry your oil. So I'm just doing some olive oil in this container right now. That's a perfect carrier oil in a pinch. Jojoba oil is also a good one. Grapeseed oil, almond oil, they're all fantastic options. But I'm using olive oil because that's what I have. It's extra virgin olive oil as well. And I'm just going to fill this up. I'm going to have to take the top off, and I'm afraid it's going to be a little messy, so I'm going to do that off camera. And here we have it. Our pocket-sized altar. Very discreet, but workable for any purposes on the go.